Hello, welcome to the Sound of Science, the place where we deconstruct unscientific bogus and silly scams. Let's go get them. Hello, you wonderful critical thinkers. Thank you so much for watching. Oh boy, I'm tired and I've got a headache. Maybe it's time to watch some funny stuff. Oh yes, that means it is time for another episode of everyone's favorite silly Christian apologist, the man calling himself Topics of Religion. What is he up to now? Well, today he wants to educate all of us about the Big Bang Theory. Let's see how much he understands about it. You can place your bets now.
Boy, it's been a long time since an atheist came in and was talking about the Big Bang Theory. Really? Big Bang?
Yes, indeed. Most surprising that an atheist would come to you, of all people, to talk about the Big Bang Theory, because you've never demonstrated yourself to be an expert on that, or on anything else for that matter. And also strange is that specifically an atheist would want to talk about the Big Bang Theory, because the Big Bang Theory has got nothing to do with atheism. So it's not a topic that an atheist would typically start talking about. So that also makes this story a bit unlikely. But for some reason, you seem to think that the Big Bang Theory in general is a strange topic to talk about. So you kind of seem to be suspicious for the wrong reasons. Now, you're not going to demonstrate that you don't understand anything about the Big Bang Theory, aren't you? You did learn from my previous videos that it's better for you to first do a bit of reading before you start talking. Sweet mother of Gandalf, what in the name of Sauron are you doing? Stop spitting at your camera and at least continue your usual nonsense talk.
You know, it has been probably 3 years since anybody has talked about the Big Bang.
Wait, what? For the past 3 years, nobody has talked about the Big Bang? You do understand that the Big Bang Theory is an actual scientific theory. So if you want to find out if people are talking about it, you would logically first go to the regular platforms for scientific publications and check how many articles would mention the Big Bang. And then you would find out, just like I did, that, for example, a platform like ResearchGate has registered close to 3,000 scientific articles that mention the Big Bang during the past 3 years alone. So what on earth are you talking about?
And he says, we have absolute evidence of the Big Bang. Really? Because they're not talking about the Big Bang anymore. So I don't think there's any evidence. Because if there was evidence, they wouldn't change their minds. Everybody's on expansion now. It was the Big Bang Theory. And now they demolished that and they're going with the expansion theory. Then there never was a Big Bang. But he's trying to mix the two. They even disregard their own science. Oh my gosh. I mean, the buffoonery this week.
Are you really saying this? They dropped the Big Bang Theory and now for the past few years everybody has shifted to the expansion theory? And I warned you to do some reading before talking. Look, the actual Big Bang Theory was conceived by Georges Lemaitre in 1927. His original article from 1927 already proposed the expansion of the universe. That was the whole bloody point of his theory. And then 2 years later, in 1929, Edwin Hubble proved the expansion of the universe with his observational evidence. Expansion of the universe wasn't added later on, and certainly not during the past few years. It's been an integrated part of the Big Bang Theory for almost a century now. What are you talking about, you vanilla orange blueberry fudge for brains?
Now they're saying, a few years ago they came up with these red lights that are shooting through the universe, and those somehow are related to the expansion.
No, you utter fool. The redshift has been an integrated part of the Big Bang Theory since 1927. It hasn't been discovered or added a few years ago. It was one of the major reasons to establish the entire Big Bang Theory a century ago. You see, the redshift indicates light being stretched into longer wavelengths, showing that its source is moving away from us. So, expansion. But as usual, you didn't even bother to read one single Wikipedia page about the stuff that you want to talk about. But please, don't tell me you are going to double down on this.
I mean, the other guy that was talking about Big Bang, he was talking about the Big Bang, and when I corrected him and I said, you're not even close to the updated science, which have illuminated Big Bang, and then he says, it was hypothetical. Just admit you were wrong. Admit that you were not anywhere close to the scientific theory that's happening right now in 2025. Just admit that.
Oh, you utter fool. You are going to double down on this, making yourself look like an even bigger coconut butterscotch cheesecake chocolate bar for brains. There is no scenario in which this conversation took place. It's not reality. If you were to correct anyone by telling them what you just told us, they would have told you that you're a nitwit who understands nothing about the Big Bang Theory, because everything you just said is completely wrong. You're not going to make it worse, are you?
When I went to college and studied geology, they talked about the Big Bang. No mention of expansion, because that word didn't even come up in science until maybe 5-6 years ago.
Sweet auntie of Bilbo Baggins, there is no reality in which this story is true. You went to college as a student and not for mopping the floor or flipping burgers in the cafeteria? No way. You keep saying that you went to college, but every new video you upload demonstrates that you probably wouldn't even be capable of filling in the application form. And you studied geology and they were teaching the Big Bang Theory? Well, of course, I cannot rule that out. I'm not familiar with all geology programs of American universities and colleges, but the Big Bang is not something that would typically be taught at a geology faculty, because the Big Bang has got nothing to do with geology. It's an entirely different field of science. But if they did teach the Big Bang at your supposed university or college, they would have undoubtedly explained the expansion of the universe, because that has been an integrated part and one of the key elements of the theory itself since 1927. Without the expansion of the universe, there is no Big Bang Theory. I think it's time that you demonstrated some credentials. You've told us several times now that you went to college, and I don't believe you. Maybe tell us what college or university, what program, and maybe when you studied there. I get it that for privacy reasons, you should not show us your diploma, but at least give some more detail so that we can try to verify your claim. The point is, if you are faking to have studied at college, it's kind of unfair and even damaging to those who really put in the effort and really work very hard to get their degree. But if you are the result of an education at an American college or university, then there is another problem going on that is even more of a disaster. Thanks for watching.